Their battle will decide the fate of the human race forever. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
What a concept for a film. Children of men out here ripping off American Cyborg Steel Warrior.
I mean, this movie was just Jean-Claude Van Damme's Cyborg, but like with the mother of God in it for some reason. This is episode 230 of I Hope You Suffer. My name is... This cyborg looks like Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Very long name.
Yeah, my parents had some weird idea. They were hippies, you know.
I'm Kit.
Hi, it's Katie.
This week we are talking about Steel American Cyborg Warrior, based on the title credit card or title card from 1993. American Cyborg Steel Warrior.
Steel American Cyborg Warrior.
I was very
have.
baffled. That was the decision they made for that, that title card. Yeah, this is fine. There were parts in it that I was like, okay, this is sick, and then there was just a lot of walking around. But at least it had a better set design than fucking Cyborg did.
I really wanted to like this one so much because it's like the aesthetic's really cool and it's got that perfect like low budget early 90s feel,
Yeah,
like Mortal Kombat to it.
It was a Canon Films, so like the minute I saw that, I was like, okay, so I know what I'm getting here.
The last theatrically released Canon film, even.
I can see why.
Ooh. Yeah.
What a send off.
Like, this was like one that I was like, I can't necessarily say like I enjoyed it, but I didn't hate it either. It was just kind of there.
Yeah, I was like, there's a lot of him chasing him around, and then I look up and it's like, oh, this is gonna get cool, and then like the fights are just the least kinetic, energetic fights you've ever seen. But
it like, I don't know, like, it spent too long at the beginning, or maybe like the first half, like not doing anything. But then by the time you get to like the cannibals and like,
oh yeah,
that like shit like that, and like I don't know, like that was cool, but like there's just so much like of them bonding in just terribly lit spaces, and like I don't know, it's like not, it needed like one or two more kind of like action set pieces, I think, to like even it out.
Yeah, like big fights.
Yeah, and both actors pretty terrible.
I feel like Cyborg guy was pretty good because he just didn't say anything. He just looked angry and walked really hard.
I added
That's perfect.
a movie to our watch list that he stars in called Hologram Man that just looks like a shitty rip-off of fucking Lawnmower Man.
Cannot wait.
Jeez.
So whatever that pops up, we're absolutely doing that. It's got Tom Tiny Lister in it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, I don't know. It looks real shitty, and it's his most popular movie, and I've never heard of it. So I was like, I'm in.
I'm down to watch anything this dude's in because, like,
Tarzan
in
Manhattan.
Yeah, sure. in this one, he just looks like the strictest English teacher you've ever had, but in his leather daddy gear on the weekends,
Yeah,
like ready to rock and roll.
But who motorcycles on the weekend?
Yeah.
100%.
Katie, what'd you think about this?
I think he's more history teacher, if you ask me.
I think this
A
entire
history
movie
teacher.
was just the dream of a guy that looks like Shawn Michaels fighting a guy that looks like Dexter Loomis.
Yeah. It was fine. I didn't hate it, but I found it kind of boring.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
There is some cool body stuff that happened, effect stuff that they did. I thought was cheesy, but in a charming way.
Well,
When he gets shot in the eye, so
was
good.
I don't know.
Is
I don't know what's going on with that.
Some of the special effects and the set design and shit is all pretty great. I don't really have any complaints there. It's just story wise, where it's basically almost exactly the plot of Cyborg, but in this instead of this time, there's a character named Mary who was able to be the only person to I don't know, apparently grow a fetus outside of her body. I'm not totally sure what's happening in this with all of that.
Yeah,
but
medical miracle.
It sounded like she was pregnant and they took the baby out of her to make sure it would live. I have no idea.
Seems like a bad idea.
I think what they were going for was that because they make a point to say that the world is infertile. So I think they were able to take her egg and fertilize it. So it was a tube baby the whole time. I gotta say, the highlight of this movie for me is the fucking tube baby.
It's incredible.
Oh my god, so good.
I was extremely taken aback every time they show it. And there's one point at the end where they put the baby in the artificial womb or whatever, and its eyes are just straight open, bulge looking, and I was like, what the fuck? It was very unsettling. So that
do you think Hideo Kojima got the idea for Death Stranding from this?
Yeah, I do.
He saw that tube baby and was like, that's it. This is the one.
This is his favorite movie ever released. I have to say, there's a specific part in this movie that I felt there is absolutely no way I feel like I've seen American Cyborg Steel Warrior from 1993 before, but I felt like maybe I had, and I don't know if it just is because it's so similar to Cyborg, but there's a specific scene, so I'm going to jump ahead to some spoilers here, where the main character, whose name is Austin for some reason.
What a terrible movie name.
He is fighting Cyborg. I don't know what that guy was called, but I just called him Cyborg. And Cyborg has, for the 12th time, been pushed down an elevator shaft, and he's holding on to Austin's arm, and there's moments of him just hanging off of this guy's arm, and then his arm gets ripped off. I swear to God I've seen this scene before. But maybe it's in something else. I don't know. I was having such a weird deja vu. And I was like, there's no way I've seen this movie before. But
you probably,
it seemed familiar.
I'm sure this just played on fucking, cable TV, endlessly.
I'll say when I was
late 90s, early 2000s.
When I was Googling it, and, looking into it being the last canon movie and everything, a bunch of people were like, oh yeah, this was on cable all the time. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe. I don't know. Very strange situation. But yeah, it was totally fine. It was fine.
Yeah. It's, if you like canon movies, you'll probably enjoy it. If you don't, you'll probably hate it. It's very, very on par with any canon, futuristic looking movie. The opening, I was so psyched because I was like, oh man, this looks like it's gonna all be fucking super dystopian, kind of dark and whatever, and it just turned into two people walking around for an hour of it.
Yeah, it's literally just an allegory for the story of Jesus, sort of, kind of. And I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Let's just get into it.
The director also wrote it and has very weird looking filmography. So, including a movie called Lunar Cop that I'm absolutely putting on the watch list, starring Michael. Oh no, that's not. I don't know who this is. Michael Pere. Oh, he's in Bone Tomahawk and Village of the Damned.
Oh, okay.
I'm in.
I'm in for Lunar Cop. If he's not a cop
Going
on the moon,
Bananas?
though, I don't want it. No, no, thank you.
With Dom DeLuise.
Aww.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Sold.
it's got a monkey in it, so Katie's out. But...
Yeah. Well, that's why I assume. I just had to assume. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, let's talk about this dumb movie.
So this movie starts out, if you can believe it, in South Carolina.
Was that what it said?
Which, yeah, there was a dusty old sign that said South Carolina.
Incredible.
And I believe it because I don't know if any of you guys have been to South Carolina, but
Yep.
it is a piece of shit. So it's South Carolina.
Yeah, take that, South
but-
Carolina.
Yeah, listen, if we somehow have any listeners in South Carolina, they are nodding in agreement right now. But it's post-apocalyptic South Carolina. We find out that there was a
It's the
nuclear
year
war.
2025.
Ew.
I actually don't know, but I'm assuming because it seems like where we're headed.
Okay. Well,
We're
don't
getting close.
know. I mean, truly, we don't know like when this movie takes place. All we know is that 17 years earlier there was a nuclear war, and
Lines
now
up.
there is a AI computer that basically governs all of the people who survived the nuclear war, and it keeps people, essentially polices people to stay in like prison camps situation. So it's like anytime we see it's just like a dump. Everything's a dumpster. Like South
Look,
Carolina is already,
I'm gonna
but
say,
you know, futuristic.
This life minus like a weird robot with a mustache following everybody around everywhere. It didn't seem too bad.
So
Look, at least it's not like I would rather live in this fucking city that's at least got buildings I could sleep in than like Mad
Yeah.
Max where I'm just like out in the fucking desert all the time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Plus that
So-
fucking cyborg probably slaps the bass pretty well, based on him looking like Flea with a mustache.
his little spike finger. So this is where we introduce to the cyborg, and he walks up to this machine, and I just wrote he's got a spike finger. It kind of looks like the plug that you have if you're like plugging in like a guitar to an amp. It's kind of like that. And he sticks his little spike finger into a computer machine that like talks to him and gives him instructions to basically like he's basically the police. So there's like a lot of world building in this like opening. There's just this like guy who is like asking the cyborg for money because he hasn't eaten in a long time, but he's also throwing up all over the place. And then the cyborg like kills him, I guess, but it was really confusing because the cyborg like threw him up on a car and then like put his leg up there and like I don't know. Anyway, he kills him, I guess.
He puts his arm or his leg up, holding like one of his arms down or whatever, and then I think he just like slowly snaps his neck.
Well, he's dead. Then somebody that I called Sewer Man comes out of the sewer, and he's walking through the like dystopian city essentially as there's an announcement over the intercom that is talking about how a bunch of like rebellious insurgents were captured and killed, and before they died they said that they were ashamed for what they did and they were sorry, and that made me laugh really hard because that definitely did not happen. Sewer guy goes into a building and it's basically just like a medical type based situation where we're introduced to Mary, who is our main character. I don't know what is going on with her hair. She's got like blonde hair, but then she has like the weird like fake hair, Jerry curl type things. Like I don't know what's going on with her. But we get introduced to her. Sewer guy brings her some flowers, and then they're talking about how they need to meet a boat. And so basically, this is where we find out the whole plot of the movie, which is that they are going to take Mary to meet a boat at the port that's going to take her to Europe because, yeah, she is the only person in the world who successfully got pregnant on Earth or something. But as we said, the baby is in a tube. It's a tube baby. And we see the baby.
Fucking baby would be like fucking dead, like immediately. Like, just fucking backpacks get punched, just getting thrown all over the place. Like,
there's a scene where she's running and it shows the baby inside just like sloshing around in the tube, and it made me laugh so hard. I wish they would have put in like the baby going like "Wah, wah, wah," or something. It just was like so.
There should have just been like a thing, you know how like TV shows and stuff will do at the bottom where there's like somebody doing sign language. It should just be like just footage of the baby the entire time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. That would have been amazing.
This is why they're trying to protect the baby to make a new species of human, because it's super tough. Like, we need to make some super tough humans.
So.
What happened?
Sorry.
Katie die?
I heard. No, I'm fine.
I thought maybe she saw this picture of David Arquette and the drummer from Mastodon.
Yeah.
No.
It's too much.
You can
it's
send
too
it
powerful.
to me. Send it to me. Yeah, so at first it's confusing because they're just like talking to her about this like baby that needs to survive or whatever. And we don't really know what's going on. And then we see that it's a test tube baby. And they basically have 36 hours to get. He looks so excited. Good times clowning around.
I thought you were talking about the baby in the movie, and I was like, wait, what?
That's what I thought too. It's like, when did that baby look excited?
He was, the whole time, he was having the time of his life. Yeah.
Just sloshing around in his tube.
That's right. It was like a water slide the entire movie. He was like really having a good time. Yeah, so the baby's in a tube, and basically they have 36 hours to get the baby to the port because the boat has a European artificial womb on it, and the baby, they need to get the baby into that womb in order to keep it alive. So time is of the essence. So basically, they are talking about the route they're going to take, and they also talk about how basically there's a bunch of like hazardous waste, and they take these things called
RZB or RBZ?
RZB.
I forget which one.
It's one of them. Where basically they take it and then it like, I guess, helps them not die from toxicity, which
seems like
doesn't seem great, but
time to be alive.
Right. So they're basically talking about like how hazardous it is and blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden, one of many times that this happens in the movie, the cyborg just busts in through a wall and starts killing everybody for a long time. Mary and a lady I called Oversized Jacket Lady managed to escape the base while the cyborg is killing everyone else, all the doctors and stuff. But then they have to, of course, jump over a chain link fence, and Oversized Jacket Lady sacrifices herself so that Mary can escape. So pour one out for a real one in her oversized jacket. As soon as she dies, there's like a bunch of people that come to kind of like loot her dead body, I guess. And then the cyborg kills / hurts all of them too. This entire movie is just like Mary sneaking around and then the cyborg fighting people. So this will probably go pretty fast, I think.
Not even like good fighting either. The fight scenes are pretty bad.
No. Yeah, just yeah. And he basically, I think he pulls a map off of Oversized Jacket Lady's body so he knows where Mary's going or whatever, and he goes after her. He's doing the thing where he just like walks at a normal, well, he is walking with purpose. He is wearing a whole leather outfit, but he's not like running, he's just like keeping pace. He's just like slow and steady wins the race, so to speak.
People look stupid when they
Um,
run.
Keep going.
Walking hard.
I'll be back in a second.
Okay. And okay, so he's basically just like slow walking around while Mary is sneaking around various boiler units and whatnot. And this goes on for like 15 minutes, I feel like.
It's really the whole movie.
Like, honestly, it is. And it's definitely the same like set piece, I think. They just like turn the camera. They just like point the camera a different way, and then they walk
Just different
the
directions.
staircase. Like, literally, yeah. And then there is a part where the cyborg's eyes are glowing white. So you got
The
cyborg
eyes look
action.
insanely fucking cool. Like,
So-
he's walking through the
well-
sewers in that one scene, and it's just eyes glowing. That's fucking
So
dope.
it does look
Big
pretty
fan.
cool because there's like the first time that they do it, he is completely like silhouetted, like leaving the factory or whatever, and the background is just like white, and then everything else is black, and then it's just like his white eyes, and I was like, okay, like that's pretty. I would be scared of that. I don't
Yeah, I don't wanna fuck with that.
know. And I mean,
I'm
the
giving him the
mustache.
baby, to be honest. Like,
I-
all right,
I
here you
mean,
go.
right,
Take
like,
the tube. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm a robot
I don't
also.
even- Yeah. Hello, fellow robot. Here's the tube, baby.
How do you do, fellow robots?
Okay. Then there's a scene where, like, he's just, like, following her. She's climbing a bunch, as you do. And then there's a scene where she's, like, climbing up an elevator shaft, and then he hits the button to call the elevator down, but she just escapes a floor up, and he's like, oh, dang it. He's not pleased. And this just goes on and on until eventually she, like, drops an engine on his head or something, and she runs out of the facility, where she is immediately caught by, like, a weird, like, Rocky Horror Picture gang situation. And they're basically, like, hassling her for her backpack. And this is when we get introduced to our main character, whose name is Austin, which just seems like just such a weird name for a main character.
Good robot name.
I don't think so. So he appears and beats up the Rocky Horror Picture Show gang and saves her. And then she's basically just like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. Can you take me to the port now? I need to get there. And he's just like, no. And he walks away.
End of movie.
Then yeah, pretty much. No, thank you. Goodbye. The cyborg then busts out of the factory and sees that all of the gang has been, like, knocked out and whatever, and uses cyborg vision to track their steps. This is where we actually find out that his name is Austin, and I wrote Austin LOL. I just thought it was really funny. He goes in to meet with this guy who is like a scrap trader or whatever, and the guy asks him like how he's doing, and he's just like, like a turd in a toilet. And I was like, okay, I relate, I guess. Weird thing to say, but so then he has some batteries that he's scavenged, and he's going to try and trade them with the guy for some of the RZB tablets. And then Mary comes in and is like, hey, I'll give you RZB tablets if you help me. And the guy's like, what are you doing in here? And then again, the cyborg just busts in through a wall, like, I'm here for the girl. And then the trader guy is like, oh yeah, no worries. Like, I'll trade the girl for something. Like, what do you have to trade? But the cyborg just like shoots him in the face.
Fair.
So that's what he had to trade, I guess. Mary runs away, and Austin fights with the cyborg. We've already spoiled that you find out that Austin is also a cyborg, and I gotta say, he's not super great at fighting a cyborg as another cyborg.
He's not made to be a fighter.
Well, I still feel like you automatically would be stronger or something, and I just feel like I don't know. Anyways, he's very bad at fighting the cyborg. He's not good at it. We see this is like the first of like 15 times that they like duke it out. There's at one point when he's like trying to hit the cyborg with like a tube of fur, and it's like not working, and I'm like, yeah, he's made out of steel, you idiot. Anyway, he ends up Austin ends up stabbing the cyborg in the neck with a knife, and then Mary shows up with a rocket launcher and rocket launches him, and then they run away, and then they show the cyborg, and guess what? He's not dead. This happens every single time they fight. It's like every 5 minutes they get into this like huge battle, and then they run away, and then the cyborg's like, but wait, I'm not dead.
I can't believe the knife rocket combo didn't work.
Honestly. Well,
unstoppable.
And to be fair, he gets stabbed in the neck, and he's like gushing.
He's got a huge
white
neck wound.
Substance. Yeah. But he's fine, just a scratch. Austin confronts Mary because he's like, you didn't say that you had a cyborg following you, and she's like, well, I didn't really have time to explain. Like, I don't know why he's so mad, because she basically was like, hi, can you help me? And he was just like, no, and he walked away. So like, there wasn't really room to explain the situation, but it's fine. He confronts her about it, and then she's just like, hey, I'm like trying to go to the port. I will give you these RZB tablets now, and then you can get more when we get to the port. And so he's like, okay, sure. He's fiending for them tablets. So they decide that they're going to take a route through the sewers, and he says that it is 10 miles. Sorry, hold on a second.
The talk about coffee again. Coffee's gross. The end.
Coffee is amazing.
How dare you?
Yeah, I'm still sick, if you can believe it. I'm not like sick, but I have like such a bad cough, so it's probably gonna happen.
Just cough straight into the mic as loud as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Quality content.
Coughcast.
The cough. Okay, they're in the sewer, and it's gonna be 10 miles of walking to the ocean where the boat is. The cyborg is able to track their steps again, and he's all healed now. He's fine.
Yeah, he's got suspiciously fast healing for who we think is not a cyborg yet.
Oh, I meant regular. I meant actual cyborg. It's all healed cyborg. From his neck wound. And then he also goes into the sewer, and for some reason he decides that he cannot abide by there being rats in the sewer, and he just starts shooting a bunch of rats. But this also like alerts Mary and Austin to the fact that he's like down there. So it's not very smart if you ask me. As they're running, also there's like this thing where Austin's like, watch your step, there's landmines everywhere. And there's just like landmines sitting like in the middle of the floor. I was like, wow, yeah. Conspicuous.
It's a good place for him.
They start running, and of course Mary drops her backpack on top of a landmine, and Austin has to like Indiana Jones swap out the backpack for his machine gun. Oh, it's not a machine gun. I don't know what it is. I only know machine gun, Glock, and like AK-47. So let's say it's an AK-47. He has to do that. So he leaves the gun sitting there, and then it's fine. So they start to climb up the ladder, and then the cyborg shows up. And so Austin shoots at the landmine, and it explodes. And it like launches him out of the sewer, which I thought was very funny looking. He was just like, woo! There's some kind of siren alert that goes off, and everybody that's like up on the street level like runs and hides, and he's just like, come with me, I know a safe place. So they go to his little house or whatever. And he's like trying to get her to eat, but she's like, I'm not hungry. I don't need food. All I need is this RZB. And so like they were taking tablets, and then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to bed. And she's just like, I'm not tired. We should get going. And he's like, no, we have to wait until morning because then our footprints don't give off heat signatures. So the cyborg can't follow us. But the cyborg doesn't really seem to have any problems tracking them. So I don't know. Let's see. Excuse me. Yeah, she says, then they have this kind of like heart-to-heart sort of, where she's basically just like, I wonder why people get up in the morning because this really sucks. Everything sucks and it's terrible. And then he's just like, I don't know. I guess people think they're going to be saved. And then she's like, that's stupid. And he's just like, yeah, I think so too. And I was like, what? So he goes to sleep, and she takes out her little tube baby and feeds it, and we see the tube baby.
It's the only good special effect in this movie.
It's so good. I love the
Pretty
tube
sure
baby.
It's a real baby.
I
Probably.
hope someone stole that off of set.
That's
That's
the
on
thing
someone's mantle right
it needs
now.
to pop up on one of those auctions.
Yeah, let's buy it.
$8 for the tube baby.
From American Steel Warrior, or whatever the fuck. The next morning, they wake up and running. Austin fights him again, and Mary runs away, lands on like a drill bit, and then they run away. But again, it's supposed to be serious, but it just like cracked me up. Then they finally stop to rest. The cyborg, of course, is like still slow walking towards them. Austin has like a head wound, and so Mary is like cleaning it up, and they're having like a face to face, a heart to heart. I mean, and then he's just like, okay, well, bad news is we don't have any more ammo, so we have to go out of our way to get the ammo, because in order to get to the port, we have to go through the radioactive cannibal territory. Great.
It's the best part.
And yeah, he's like, it's going to take us 45 minutes to get through or get the ammo and then like go through the territory or whatever. And she's basically just like, okay, like what choice do I have? So man, daylight savings is messing me up because I can't see in the dark in here anymore. I don't think that there's a light in here. Hold on. Oh my god. There's no light in here.
In the dark.
Yeah, like essentially, I'm not meaning to, but shit, what do I do? I did not think that this was going to be happening right now.
The darkness that happens every day.
Is it imprisoning you? All that you see?
Yes. Yes. Oh.
Did you find
it's getting dark. Darkness is falling rapidly. I can't even see to like plug this in.
Within the past 20 seconds, Katie's whole life has been upended by darkness.
Okay. When darkness falls.
It almost came across like somebody fucking turned the light off on you. Like it apparently got so dark so fast.
Okay.
It's an eclipse.
Right,
oh god.
Oh my god. There is supposed to be a blood moon eclipse tonight, so that's fun.
So tonight, or was it this morning? I thought it was this morning.
Yeah, it was this. I'm pretty sure it was this morning. You missed it.
Yeah.
No blood moon. Sad.
Okay. I have light now. I can see. I just went for me like.
She lit a candle like in one of the little holders that you carry around.
I've got a little kerosene lamp. No, it just went for me like noticing I was like squinting to see my notes. To all of a sudden, I just like couldn't read them anymore. Oh my god. My husband is dead.
So why does
Okay.
this person look like Johnny Depp?
He does look like Johnny Depp.
That is Johnny Depp.
Oh my god.
I saw that picture the other day. I was like, Jesus Christ. And then I just came across that.
I love that they're wearing 2 padlock necklaces and a Ouija board planchette, and then like the big giant metal balls that we all used to wear in like 9th grade, and a puka shell necklace and a scarf. And I'm sorry, it's an ascot.
And that lumpy old murderous farmer hat.
Okay. Whoever's listening to this is like, what in the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I feel like we reference shit that like is in a text message all the time that like we never actually explain. So
we'll post it. We'll post it somewhere. Don't worry. The world needs to see. My husband is dead. I don't want to remarry. I only want sex. See my pussy. Click here. With a picture of
Johnny Depp.
Horrible looking Johnny Depp.
Picture of Johnny Depp. I am unwell. Okay. I think the last thing that happened was that the test tube baby was jostling around in her backpack.
Yes.
Oh, no. Okay, they need to go get ammo to go through radioactive cannibal
To
territory.
give to the baby.
Yes. And give the baby a gun. Let it protect itself.
It'd be awesome if the baby just had a little tiny gun in this fucking tube the
He's
whole
like
time.
poking out of the back of the backpack. Just like
just shoots it once,
I
the
know.
entire tube it like erupts and he dies.
Oh man. So they basically like get to this place where Austin has like his ammo hidden, and he has to like spelunk down into like, I don't know, underground with his gas mask to retrieve the ammo. And he leaves Mary just chilling up top with a gun that has no ammo in it. And then somebody jumps down behind Mary with a gun and tries to rob her and is like, "Give me your pants. I want the pants, girl."
I would be so upset if someone robbed me for my pants.
She was like, "I would love some summer pants." And then Austin comes back from spelunking and then holds up the robber. And then it turns out, with an empty gun, and then it turns out that Austin actually knows this person. Their name is Carp. And they know each other.
Even though the subtitles called her Capri, I think.
Oh, you're right. I wrote Capri.
I prefer Carp.
I think I do too.
I like Carpy. Carp with an I.
Carpy. Yeah. Carpy. And basically, Austin is like, "You're the only one that knew where my ammo is. Like, why is my ammo gone? Where is it?" And Carpy is just like, "Whatever, man." But gives him some ammo. And then basically Austin is like, "If you let us go, then like I'm gonna take her to the port, and on the boat she's gonna give me all the RZB that I can carry. So like I'll be back tomorrow and I'll give you some RZB." And so Carpy's just like, "Okay, here you go. Also, take my cool sunglasses." Gives Mary some sunglasses. Then Mary like grills Austin about Carp and is basically trying to like ask if they're, like an item or together or whatever. And he's just like, "No, like we're kind of more like family or whatever." Austin C. Oh, okay. So I wrote suddenly Austin sees the TTB, and I was like, "What is that?" "It's the test tube baby." So Mary like falls or something, and the flap opens up, and Austin just like sees the test tube baby, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And they kind of like argue because he's like, she's like, "Oh, this is my baby," and he's just like, "What? Women can't get pregnant here. Oh, what are you talking about? You lied to me. Like, what's going on here?" And she's basically just like, "Yeah, like this baby is the only healthy baby genetically healthy baby in the whole universe, and he'll die unless we get to the boat. And so basically, like, and then he's like, oh, so, like, you're going to take the baby to the boat, and then they're going to give you the RZB. And she's just like, no, like, there's not actually any RZB. I need to take the baby there so it survives. Then we're going to take the baby to Europe to start a new race of genetically healthy humans. And so...
How? There's only one baby. Like, what is it going to breed with? Also, when? Like, I don't know. All of this is not thought out well.
The baby is, like, literally, like, a fetus in a tube. It's, like, not even near... It's, like, months old. It is not even near being, like, a person. They're going to have to wait... I don't know. I don't understand how any of this is supposed to work. Unless they... I have no idea. And so, basically, Austin is, like, mad because she lied. There's no RZB. And he's basically just, like, why should I care about this? Like, you're risking my life for nothing. And she's like, no, it's like the greater good, because people in, like, Europe is different, and people are fighting back against the machines in Europe, and they're growing their own food. And, like, this is for the betterment of the human race or whatever. And he just basically is just like, I do not care about that. See you later. And he leaves. This is when, Mary looks at her watch and sees that there's 16 hours left for her to get to the boat. And so she's, sets off on her own. She is immediately attacked by someone. I don't know, like, what was going on with their outfits. They were kind of, like, weird. They honestly were a little bit like Heidi Klum's warm outfit, but they were white. So...
Oh, they just kind of look like mummies.
Yeah, like, but they were like rubber. Look, I don't know. It was really weird. Anyway, she's like immediately attacked by one of them that she shoots, and then she is captured in a net. Austin comes, for whatever reason, comes immediately behind her and finds the gun, and it's just like, oh no, she's in trouble. So now we cut to Mary, who is tied up on a cross, and we're introduced to the mutant cannibals. I honestly kind of wish that the mutant cannibals were like a bigger part of this, because they've got, they're kind of cool
looking. They were the only cool, like, makeup effects really going on.
Yeah. One of them, who is like the mutant cannibal leader, is like kind of like waxing poetic to her, and is like, we're gonna eat you, but like, he doesn't say it like that. Austin comes in and causes an explosion, catches people on fire immediately, and just like starts shooting everybody. Then, this is one of my favorite parts. He runs out of bullets, and so he just like chucks the gun at one of them. It hits him in the face, and it gets him. So then he's like, throwing knives and like stabbing people and whatnot. He ends up untying Mary, and she's like, Austin, the baby, because the head mutant cannibal guy has stolen the baby, because they want to eat it, right? And so he's like running away with the baby. Austin catches up, and they fight. Again, both really terrible at fighting. He ends up like, I don't know, throwing the mutant guy off of some high thing or whatever. And then the backpack falls off of it also, but Mary thankfully catches it. Austin asks then they just like go back to being BFFs, I guess. And Austin is like asking, like, what are you going to name the baby? And so,
gee, I wonder.
Yeah, well, at this moment, she's talking about how she wants to name the baby after her dad, and they start talking about how her parents were both killed by cyborgs, of course, and she was saved by the scientists who were, killed in the beginning of the movie. And then Austin is just kind of like, I don't know, I never had a family. Weird. Mary then notices that Austin's head wound from earlier is completely healed, and she's just like, wow, that's weird. And then he's like, can I tell you something? Earlier, when you were looking at me, I really wanted to kiss you. And then they kiss.
Very strange interaction.
Yeah, it's very weird. And then as they're kissing, the cyborg busts his arm through a wall again. And they just like really love that entrance. Somebody was just like, you know what I love? When a cyborg busts through a wall. And then they were like, let's do it in every scene. So that's what they did. So they're like, they run. Oof, okay. Austin is fighting with the cyborg again. They get away. Then the cyborg shows up again, and they fight again. Then I wrote, oh no, because the cyborg uses his little drill finger, screw finger, and just like sticks it into Austin's ear, which sounds bad. Mary shows up and like hits the cyborg with something, and so this is when the cyborg like falls down the like into an elevator shaft again, but he's like holding on
again. The natural enemy. Elevator shafts.
Yes, an elevator shaft. High spaces. Anytime they get away from him, they have thrown him off of either a scaffolding or an elevator shaft. So this is elevator shaft number 2. The cyborg is like holding on, and so Austin cuts the cyborg's arm off, and then the cyborg is like, and like grabs onto Austin's arm, and it's just dangling down. This is what I was talking about earlier, where he's just like dangling down the shaft, holding onto Austin's arm, and there's just like ripping sounds as the weight of the cyborg just like literally rips Austin's arm off. It's pretty cool. I was into it. So then he falls down the elevator shaft again. And this is like I said, I had like a specific memory of this where his arm gets ripped off. And then this is when Austin realizes that he is in fact a cyborg because there's like wires in his arm that he pulls out. And I swear to God, I've seen this scene before. So I don't know.
So I don't think
what's
I've
her
seen
name?
anything from this movie ever.
That scene in particular, just like I had like really weird deja vu. So I don't know. But basically, like Mary comes up and like sees his arm. It's like, oh no, what did he do to you? But then soon fast realizes that he is a cyborg, and then she like pulls a gun on him, and she's like, you lied to me. You didn't tell me that you were a cyborg. And Austin is just like, I didn't know I was a cyborg. And then they go like back and forth about it, but she doesn't believe him, so she like runs away. She like leaves the building. She's like walking towards a fence where she gets electrocuted by it, and then starts getting burned because there's acid rain, like legit acid rain. I was like, Jesus Christ. If that baby wasn't dead before now, she just got electrocuted while she was touching it,
It just makes babies more powerful. They don't teach you that. That's what it does.
It's bad for you, but it's good for the baby. So, this is when Carp shows back up, and it's basically just like, "Where's Austin?" And she's like, "I don't know, we left." And then she was like, "Sounds like Austin to me." Then she's like, "Here, like you can have your stupid sunglasses back." And then Carp is like, "Okay, well, it's only a mile to the water from here. Like, I'll show you how to get there." So she gives her instructions to where she's got to go back into the sewer. So she does. She goes down there. And meanwhile, Austin has taken the cyborg's arm that he cut off and attached it to himself, so that now he has an arm again. Pretty cool. I like it.
Smart.
For some reason I thought he like put his like arm back. I don't know what was happening here.
So they showed like a scene, like they showed a little clip where they showed the cyborg's arm laying on the ground, like still moving, and it had like the weird fingers in the leather. So that's how I knew it was like not his arm. So he like attaches it to himself, and it works. So good for him. Meanwhile, Mary is down in the sewer, and she looks forward, and she can hear the waves of the ocean at the end of like the drainage pipe that she's in, and she's like, oh yay, and she like crawls out. She comes out underneath like a dock thing, and so she takes out her binoculars and is like looking, and she spots the boat that's coming, and she's like, oh my god, yeah, she's excited. She takes a step forward, and then the cyborg somehow pops out of the ocean in front of her.
Gasp.
How does he keep doing that? It's crazy. And he's like, "Ma!" And she's like, "Ah!" And she screams, and she's like running around. And they basically like do this thing where she's like hiding behind a pillar, and he's like walking through the water and whatever. The cyborg ends up grabbing her. This is when she shoots it in the eye. It looks very weird because then the cyborg's like ripping skin away, but then like there's still skin there, so I guess maybe he's just healing himself. I don't know. It was kind of weird looking. They just like put a colored contact like on his cheek to make it seem like his eye was coming out or something. It wasn't great.
Oh, I liked it.
Okay. So she's like running. She gets out of the water and is like up on the pier and is like running away from him. And he's like following her, of course. He picks a hubcap off of the ground and frisbees it in the air at her and hits her in the back of the head, which I thought was so fucking funny. And
It's the best part of the movie, easily.
Honestly, like
this...
Austin throwing the gun at that guy's face and it knocking him out was like just already great, but then this scene, because it hits her in the back of the head and she just like falls, she's out cold, which I thought was so funny.
A whole movie, he could have just thrown a hubcap from fucking 400 feet away. Didn't have to walk or anything.
Like literally.
Fantastic.
And she was like pretty far away too, which I just thought it was great. And so he walks up and he gets the test tube baby. Then of course, I don't know why I want to keep calling him Aaron. His name is Austin. Austin runs out and fights the cyborg, of course. And as they're fighting, the test tube baby falls in the water. We get a lot of scenes of like this baby just like floating on the top of the water, and it's just very funny looking. Then Austin, they're fighting and wrestling in the water or whatever. Austin uses the screw finger thing to like stab the cyborg's other eye, and then he stabs him a bunch of times. He stabs him so much that the cyborg explodes, and he's finally dead.
R.I.P.
King.
Mary wakes up on the beach and it's just like, Austin, the baby. So she's just like immediately forgiven him, I guess. And she runs into the water as the boat appears, and basically like he gets the baby. The people on the boat appear and they give it to the scientists, and we see like this like countdown clock happening, and basically they have to put the baby in the artificial womb, and they literally do it within 1 second left to spare. And the baby is fine. The baby makes it. This is where they showed them like dumping the baby into the artificial womb, which is just a bigger test tube. And its eyes are like bulging out like, damn.
Well, yeah,
that was a hell of a journey.
it like just opens his eyes to show that it worked successfully.
That it's alive. But the baby just literally looks like it's gone through some shit. And like we know it has, but it just really looks like it's seen some shit, right? So yeah, the baby makes it. Everyone's like excited. Austin, just starts to leave, and Mary runs over to him. It's just like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry for not trusting you. Like, I just was scared and confused. And he was just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I literally didn't, like, I wasn't lying. I just literally somehow did not know I was a cyborg. And then he just is like, they must have screwed up when they made me because, I don't know, I'm not very good at stuff. And she's just like, no, you're a hero. She asks him to come with her so that he can be the baby's father. And Austin is just like, no, thank you. But he says that because he is a cyborg now, he knows how to stop the cyborgs, and he needs to go back to the cities and like help the people fight against the cyborgs. And so she says, okay, that's fine. I'm going to name the baby Austin after you, and I'm going to tell him about all the cool stuff you did. Then they hug, and she leaves on a boat, and then we get the title of Steel American Cyborg Warrior. And that's the end. I'm saying,
Incredible.
Like, the movie was an hour and a half long, but most of it was fight scenes and like wandering amongst rubble. So
That's the canon way.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not mad
Yeah,
I watched
like,
it,
whatever.
but, you know, it's also not great. I've seen
Yeah.
much better canon movies. Like Masters of the Universe. Alright, any news, Katie?
I didn't really see anything.
I feel like there was something I texted you that was really stupid news-wise, and now I don't remember what it was.
Was it the Ryan Murphy thing?
No. I don't ever want to talk about serial killer shit ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Nothing good's ever happening.
I feel like we were texting about news, but I don't feel like any of it was real news. It was like me saying I read that interview with M. Night Shyamalan where he said that he has had sex with Jason Blum, and I was like, oh. Why are you giving out all his secrets? Don't you be telling people about that.
I mean, I guess that would explain why,
No, then you told me
Shyamalan keeps
Topher
getting
Grace.
movies made.
There you go. Yeah. That Topher Grace is supposed to be Venom in that Madam Web movie.
Oh, yeah. I just found out that maybe there's a new Thanksgiving movie.
Oh.
I can't tell. It's either that or that somebody just posted a picture of, like it's got a, like a slip cover on it that was a mock of Friday the 13th 7, I think. But I'm not finding anything other than the first two, so I'm guessing it's not real.
Bummer.
I would like another Thanksgiving, please. 3 was pretty great. Alright, the news. Katie, what'd you watch this week?
I didn't watch a lot, I don't think. I watched some stuff for the bonus episode, of course. And then I actually think I literally only watched I watched this movie called Do Revenge. Whoopsie. And I only watched it because Maya Hawke and Camila Mendes were in it, and Sarah Michelle Gellar was in it also. It was okay. It was basically just like kind of like a teen girl kind of movie situation. It was fine. Then I finally watched Last Night in Soho, which I liked.
I still need to see that.
I don't know if I think you would like it. I liked it overall. There was like some stuff I felt was kind of like a weird thing to be doing, but overall I really liked it, and I thought it was like interesting. Like, I don't think the story to me is not something that's been done before, so I liked it. And like visually it was super cool, because like some of it is set like it basically the main character is like obsessed with the 60s, so there's like a lot of that kind of like aesthetic or whatever. And then I watched Thoroughbreds, which was another Anya Taylor-Joy movie, and it also has Olivia Cooke in it, who I also really love. And that one I liked also. So I really just watch one kind of stupid movie and then two pretty good movies. And then American Cyborg, Steel Warrior.
All right, what about you, Kit?
Immediately after last week's episode, I watched the Brian Bosworth classic Stone Cold. Fucking rips. It's so good. Shane was right. Everyone go watch Stone Cold. I don't know why Brian Bosworth didn't become like a straight to DVD action guy, because he's like way better than Steven Seagal ever was. Super aloof, delivering one-liners. Fantastic. I watched Beast, the Idris Elba fighting a lion movie. Pretty decent. Fucking like a third of the movie is filmed so dark that I couldn't see anything that happened during it. It's like a 20-minute stretch, and then there was finally an explosion, and I was like, oh, hey, all right, cool. Something died, I guess. Basket Case 2. Fucking weird. Very much enjoyed it.
Franchise is so weird.
I love a sequel where they're just like, let's just go insane. What's the dumbest fucking thing we could possibly do?
Well, but also, like, don't they both die in the first one? Like, I haven't seen it in a while, but I doesn't like.
So, they jump out of a building at the end of the first one, right?
Yeah.
And in this one, they're like, oh, they survived.
Oh, that's right. It's been a long time since I've seen any of the sequels.
They find, like, Belial a little home for freak babies and shit.
I don't think I've seen any of them, actually.
Well, I can hardly recommend 1 and 2. I think I'm probably going to try and watch 3 tonight. See. Real good. Real weird. And then I watched the remake of Satan's Slaves, which is pretty good. So, the motorcycle scene in particular, it's just like a guy driving along in his motorcycle all happy, and he gets fucking run down by an 18-wheeler, and it catches his jacket and drags his face on the concrete. Like, fuck.
Ooh.
Real good.
I literally just watched shitty Lance Henriksen movies, pretty much.
Hell yeah.
Well, you watched Derailed again.
Yeah, I did a lot of rewatches because I just prop my phone up at work. Let's see. No, I don't think really any of it was new to me. I watched Man's Best Friend for the first time since like the 90s. It holds up.
Oh, hell yeah.
Rewatched Dead Man, the Jim Jarmusch movie.
That one's real good.
It's good. Piranha 2, The Spawning.
Also real good.
But I also rewatched the bullshit he made for Asylum, and no thank you. And then I rewatched Batman: The Dark Knight Returns twice, both of them. So not a whole lot to talk about. Just getting Lance Henriksen up there as my #1 actor for the year. All right, shout outs, Katie.
Spider-Man.
Agreed.
So sounded so unsure.
What about you, Kit?
IKEA for furnishing the entirety of my apartment.
Amazing.
On Bandcamp Friday, Phoebe Bridgers and Maggie Rogers re-released their cover of Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls on Bandcamp for I think it was some organization that like helps with like travel, food, and lodging and stuff for people seeking abortions out of state. It was only up for 24 hours, but it's very good.
Man, I forgot it was Bandcamp Friday. I was so busy with work. Like, by the time I left, and just like My brain was paced.
That was
I completely
Work Camp
forgot.
Friday.
I think the only thing I bought. Just that cover. All right, what we do next week, Katie?
Oh, I thought you were going next.
Well, I picked the badge, the Bible, Bigfoot.
Oh shit.
I mean, I can pick something. I got a whole list of stuff I've been waiting
Katie,
for.
don't let him pick. He's gonna choose the
I
B and
know.
DC movie.
No, that one's not streaming anywhere, or I would have watched it by now.
Well, yeah, no, I don't know. I didn't look because I thought I wasn't next
All right.
for some
I
reason.
got one lined up.
Oh no.
Mimesis Nosferatu, starring Lance Henriksen.
Okay.
I thought you were just saying Nemesis, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, Nemesis
No.
rules." And then you said Nosferatu, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Mimesis :
Oh,
Nosferatu.
Mimesis. Damn, I'm even
Tubi.
more disappointed.
It 2018 Nosferatu movie starring Lance Henriksen.
And Christy Swanson.
Hell yeah!
Oh no.
Is she in this?
Well,
That's what it says.
No, she's-
Max's mother.
She's not on the letterbox list. Did not even
Well.
big of enough role to make it to the letterbox cast.
Oh, this came out in 2018?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's sitting at almost 3 stars. It can't be that terrible.
I guess that's true. I mean,
Considering,
American Cyborg was 2.7.
I was like, considering all of the other Lance Henriksen movies that I've watched that were sitting at like an average 1.4 and shit, you know.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, yeah, I'm gonna look through because I want to do like. I actually guess I should have gone because I wanted to try and pick like a Thanksgiving movie.
well, I mean, then pick one.
We'll
Like,
see.
we'll figure it out.
I'll look. The only one that I know of off the bat that's not Thanksgiving, obviously,
Sasquatch Mountain,
is
starring Lance Henriksen.
is it a Thanksgiving movie? Technically,
Sure.
Spider-Man is a Thanksgiving movie because they go to Thanksgiving
Yeah,
dinner.
technically next week,
Um,
assuming Katie and I can record and heard the hurricane heading towards her,
I don't get hurricaned
we're
again.
recording an episode on Spider-Man that we're gonna drop into the main feed too. That because
Like the original three
we're
movies.
recording something special with someone else next week that I don't think will be out for a while, but that's gonna take the time of that we normally record. So
Yeah. So the only other movie I know about is that movie. I think it's a Hulu movie though. That's literally called Pilgrim that I've never watched. So
nah, no thank you. Let's see what we got here under. Ooh, what is Home Sweet Home? Dude holding a huge knife on the cover. I'm in. Oh, there's a lot of a lot of bad movies that look like they're Thanksgiving themed.
right. Well,
I mean, they were
the
like
name
just
of the
they weren't
game.
horror movies. They were just.
oh yeah, no. Yeah, we'll see. Ew. Thanksgiving 2007, directed by Eli Roth.
Oh, I think
Ew.
that's
That's
like,
just a
it's
short.
Yeah, I don't like that cover. Anyways, we'll see. Maybe it'll be Nosferatu. Maybe it'll be Thanksgiving. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah. Either way, if Katie finds something, it'll just get replaced. We'll do Nosferatu after that.
Ooh, what about the last Thanksgiving?
I don't know what that is.
We'll see. Linnea Quigley's in it.
That doesn't mean it's good.
No, I know. It says maybe it's on Tubi. Maybe we'll do that. We'll just have to see. It's got a 2.8, so I feel like that's on par. But we'll see.
All right. So surprise.
Gobble,
Next
gobble.
time.
Yeah.
A regular episode.
Mystery.
Probably Knives Out, since apparently that's listed as a Thanksgiving movie for some reason.
Yeah, it takes place during Thanksgiving.
Does-
Like
yeah.
holidays.
Blade Runner take place during Thanksgiving?
Yeah, classic Thanksgiving movie.
I'm very confused by like some of the lists people put on here. Like I don't know if it's just a list of stuff they plan on
Aliens?
watching over Thanksgiving or like
Dune is a Thanksgiving movie.
we should just watch
What is?
Garfield's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Um,
Thanksgiving. I was trying to say Happy Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown.
Katie's been drinking. All right. I don't have my notes up. So, join our Patreon, patreon.com/I Hope You Suffer podcast. $5 a month get you all the bonus episodes. $8 a month will get you verified on fucking Twitter. So, spend your money wisely. Just picture that Chad meme where we're the Chad spending $5 on us instead of $8 on Twitter.
If you spend money on Twitter, you're a rube.
Yeah, you're a real fucking dummy.
Yeah.
Merch, storefront tier, shop. Leave us a rating on Spotify, rating and review on iTunes. Tell us if in your dreams cyborgs have mustaches.
They better.
Yeah. That's how you know. Anybody you see with a mustache,
mustaches.
cyborg.
I like it.
Follow Kit at Hidden Kitstery and Kitrification of Blood. Follow Katie at Werewolfface. Join Katie's Patreon at patreon.com/werewolfface. Listen to my other podcast named K Movie Club. I think that's it. Yeah. I hope you're a Steel American / Cyborg Warrior. But why? I don't know. I got nothing.
I am a Steel American.
Fucking, that'd have been a fucking way better song.